There are characters created in the world of animation, characters imagined further than reality, characters that were made to be stronger than anything we could have imagined. We put these characters against each other, but who could be the strongest of them all? Ed, Edd n Eddy first started airing in 1998. The show revolved around 3 preteen boys. Now, originally I'd watched the show for entertainment, but now that I've grown, matured, and developed some chin hair, I can see the truth. I can see
the future!
No, I can see the truth. The truth of these individual gods portrayed as mortals to a child audience. Ed, he isn't strategic. He's known as the juggernaut of the group. There aren't many beings that can match up to his level of strength, and when he gets angry, then you're in big trouble! Ed, known as Double D, there's a reason why he has 2 D's in his name.
Is it because of his parents?
Well, yeah. But the 2 D's stand for Destructive Database. Because of Double D, he had granted his friends the power of logic bending due to the notes he had created. People will never know what knowledge was written in those papers to grant these beings the power of gods. And lastly, Eddie. Eddie is what I aspire to be. He shows you that you can take so much pain and survive so many trials just so you can get to your one goal. Now, how strong are these characters? Welcome to the Outside of series, where I go through and overanalyze everything and add it onto a list of feats for a specific character to see how strong they are in their respective franchise. For the first feat, we're going to be covering strength and what examples they have for it. Stop. Now, he's holding up his whole body with his tongue. Now, Eddie, being pretty short and young, would probably be around 80 pounds, but to hold up 80 pounds is pretty insane. Thomas Blackthorne had set a world record for lifting 27 pounds with his tongue. Now, he had to hook the weight up with his tongue to do so, and I'm actually begging you. It may sound interesting to see, but please, it looks like the most painful thing to watch, and I hope to never ever see that ever again in my life. Eddie now does 80 pounds plus with ease. Well, along with his tongue, it's the size of him, honestly. Comparing Eddie to this garbage can, and garbage cans are usually around 40 inches in height, we can make the assumption that his tongue is around 10 times larger than the average tongue. Double D isn't really the one to be doing much heavy lifting, so we're gonna leave the rest to the strength category to Ed. Even though you do have that one time in Party at Kevin's House where Eddie and Double D were pushing up a trailer while it balanced on the fence, and the other side was Kevin, for some reason was stronger than the both of them? I'd say that the fence is stronger than all 3 of them because that's just not how fences work. In that episode, you also have Ed lifting up a whole trailer with a tree added onto that, but let's go on into earlier Ed, not earlier episodes, but earlier Ed. Well, Ed at a young age could still lift an entire house with ease. Then you have the form that I'd like to call Berserk form for Ed. This mode is only activated when Ed is severely angered by something. With this form, Ed uproots a tree stump, uses said tree stump to smack around playground toys so hard that they end up just flying right off of the ground. He also takes the slide off of some sort of slide setup thing with just his teeth. With his teeth, he also throws said slide set, tree, swing set, and a teeter-totter. The tree alone, when it hit the ground, had stabbed through the ground, and to do that, it has to be pretty heavy, I assume. The weight of a tree can go from 2,000 to 20,000, depending on the size, but that was around 12 feet, so I'd probably say 1,000 alone altogether. Ed also shows that he's able to still lift houses in Cry Ed, so I'm pretty sure that Ed has gotten stronger over time. There was also when Eddie told him to use more muscle in his jumps, and he ended up flying 3 miles into the air. That's the distance from the ground level to cloud level, or at least a well-rounded calculation of it. Just with some jumping effort, Ed could jump 3 miles into the air. So what's the full potential of Ed? I'm not sure, but I do remember him pulling a huge part of the sewer system and running like he normally would. So the next stat to take into account, speed. Now, there's been instances where Ed, Edd n Eddy had shown their very high speeds. They had ran away from mobs, bikes, They drove in a car, except the car was Ed's legs, and there have been a few more examples, but the main one I could have to outdo all the others is this. Along with manipulating time to jump between flashbacks, Ed had the ability to run backwards to where they were all younger. When running, you see that Ed is taking steps backwards in time, and you see moments of time passing by as he runs. Ed alone has the ability to eat his whole bed and TV when he was a baby, but I have no clue where to put that. That wouldn't be in speed. That's just, he can just do that. Now, for the highlight of the Toon Force, this feat specifically, durability. Now, cartoons have to be the most durable and busted characters majority of the time. The whole getting destroyed in one scene and being fully recovered in the next one. The Toon Force is a very, very strong one. Well, there's the good, the bad, and the Ed. The episode where Rolf had challenged Eddie to get the toughest Urban Ranger badge ever available. The Hairy Chest of Resilience badge. The second challenge, bumping of the funny bone, which had involved Rolf and Eddie slamming their elbows into a file cabinet. Oh my god, that looks so painful. The episode progressively got worse and worse, where they had even got to this challenge called the Pendulum of Protest, where they had been smashed between boulders, and they also end up getting hit by a train later on. That's the easiest example of their durability, but if you remember back to where I was talking about Berserk Mode Ed, they had survived the all-out wrath of that, and then some of other instances of regular Ed. Being a close friend of Ed would be a very difficult one, honestly to say. Especially with having to survive certain things like getting a house smashed on top of you, an imaginary friend that was ridiculously strong for no reason whooping you, getting spun out of proportion by a rubber band satellite, and then said friend eating you on multiple occasions. Hey, you guys keep your fan fictions away from this internet. But basically, you can't kill cartoon characters. No matter what logic you try to throw at them, it just does not exist. The biggest proof of this example, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Season 2, Episode 4. 1 + 1 = Ed. This episode, in my opinion, was one of the best ones. I'd probably say top 5 episodes. In this episode, they completely destroyed logic itself. They broke perspective, but the aspect of weight had still applied. Along with the displacement of perspective, Ed's mishaps had shown the aspects of cartoons itself to where the asphalt road had adapted with fabric-like qualities. The destruction of perspective had now added on to Eddie's new ability of what I'd like to say reality bending. I'm not sure what exactly to name this. It's something. He turned the sun into the moon by taking a bite out of this. On a child level, oh man, that might look like it makes sense or something like that. But no, you understand. Moon, rock. Moon, rock, sun, star, big old gas, something like, you know what it is. You took the classes for it. He turned the sun into the moon by taking a bite out of it. After doing that, Eddie had shown his ability of reality bending onto Jimmy, where the thread of his shirt became the thread of his body as a whole, and he completely destroyed his 2D existence. Watch your favorite 2D hero go against the Ed Boys and see how that goes. Ed had also shown that he's able to cut a hole in space to where it's a portal to who knows where. The first hole had opened up to the Kanker's bathroom, and they shower together? Wait, hold on, let me look this up. Based on 7th graders are usually between the ages of 12 and 13.
See anything?
Yeah, thank you. I didn't want that thought. No. Apparently, this is a portal to another dimension, since that's how that works. Did he just give her his speed, the image of speed? What? He ripped off of her mouth. He ripped off her mouth. That.
An original scene transition. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, no, you guys can watch the rest of this episode yourself. They go across multiple dimensions, destroy more laws, perspective doesn't exist, and to all of this, it just gets out of hand. And this is all because of the notes of Double D. So basically, the Eds can win any fight due to Double D creating notes. So I guess Double D with notes is winning any fight if that's what's going on. But oh, Caleb, nothing in that made sense, and this is just their imagination, and, well, who is to say? Who is to say anything about cartoons? Law doesn't exist here. What is perspective? What is gravity? What is reality itself? So how would I tier the Eds against any character from a fictional standpoint? Busted. And I will further go on into the light of not making any sense with this. If you guys have any problem with this video, I want to take a quick moment to look at the date that this was posted. I would love to say that I don't care about what you say, but the comments really hurt my feelings. Thank you guys for watching me analyze my life away as I watch shows like this, and I slowly start to wither away until my existence is nothing. The next one is going to be more serious version, I should say. I'm not really sure. Not going to be like this one. I can honestly tell you that. It's not going to be anything like this one. The next video involves us going back because we have to get back. Until then, I'm Caleb IA. Peace out and Godspeed. Godspeed. What's the point of God? There's many doors. Cause life has many doors, boy.